Hey everybody, I am joined by Richie Bog Otter Procopio. Hopefully, did I say that right? I think I did.
Yep, you said that right.
All right. You usually say Richie Procopio A.K.A. Bog Otter.
Yeah, just you should say Richie A.K.A. Bog Otter, so that's probably why it sounds different to you.
Yeah. Okay. I can't. I can't be you. So anyway, he was nice enough to join me for a quick interview about TwitchCon because he just got back from TwitchCon. But before we get started, just in case there's anybody that listens to the podcast that doesn't know who Bog Otter is, what's the super quick elevator pitch?
Well, I've been doing video game related content for about 5 years now. I started by writing for various websites and then building my own YouTube channel. But more recently, I have been a full time partnered broadcaster over at twitch.tv/Bog Otter. I have a family friendly, welcoming PG-13 environment where we just play a bunch of games, have a lot of fun, and act like goofballs all day, Monday through Friday, and sometimes on Sundays. So that's what I've been doing of late.
And he's even here on his day off because we're recording this on a Saturday. So thank you very
There
much.
you go. No problem. Thanks for
So
having me.
yeah, and I appreciate it. You went to TwitchCon, but before we really get into that, you also said that you've been to a bunch of other cons. How is TwitchCon different from the other cons that you've been to?
It is actually it's really different. I've been to a bunch of PAXs before, and I mean there is a size difference between the conventions. PAX is huge, right? You'll have thousands and thousands of gamers from all over the place coming to see bunch of different games. And I think a lot of different game companies come out to a PAX to showcase their things and to try to drum up excitement for their games. Whereas TwitchCon seemed a little bit more focused. It was smaller. It was a more intimate setting, but everyone there is there for either because their love for Twitch and like that live interaction between a streamer and an audience, or because they want to learn more about streaming, meet their favorite streamers, or publicize their game that is kind of more built towards streamers. So the big things that I noticed was, one, the panels that you can go and listen to are all streamer focused, whereas if you go to a PAX convention, they could be anything about gaming. Number two was a lot of the game companies that were there on the show floor. They specifically were interested in garnering support from streamers, or had games that interacted with streamers and audiences. It was games that were built from the ground up to be played on Twitch. And I guess last but not least, there seemed to be a lot less merchandise booths. Like if you go to a PAX, there's like tons and tons of booths that are just set up to sell board games and dice and stuffed animals and shirts and stuff like that. There was a lot less of that at this convention. It was just a more focused convention, I think, is the general vibe I get.
So you don't feel like, I can imagine going to the other cons, and as you're walking through, you're like, my wallet is tugging at me as I walk past all of this stuff. It didn't feel like your wallet was trying to jump out of your pocket as you walked through, or did they still have some stuff? But
There was some stuff. But it wasn't like just all over the place. And like TwitchCon itself, like the Twitch merchandise line, they sold out of stuff by Sunday. By the time I tried to go and get like a Twitch hoodie or anything like that, it was all gone. Like, so there was definitely stuff to buy, but it wasn't as much of a marketplace as some of the other conventions are. PAX East, you can go there and just it is a dizzying amount of merchandise, and also just the crowds are just crazy at one of those things. You could wait. I've waited. I think when Star Wars: The Old Republic was being shown there, I think I waited over an hour to just get my hands on that game for like 15 minutes. So there were no lines like that, like crazy lines like that at TwitchCon.
well,
So, but it's only its second year, so it's small. So
Yeah.
it could grow. It could grow.
Almost like hope it stays small. You mentioned games that leverage Twitch interactivity. Were there any smaller games that like really stood out to you as, oh, this is something I want to keep my eye on?
Yeah. There was one particular, like the standout for me. And I didn't play like a ton of different games. I spent a lot of time in panels and meetings and doing a whole bunch of other things like that. But the game that stood out to me is a game called Shardbound. And Shardbound is the basic premise. It's kind of like Hearthstone, where you get cards and you summon creatures and spells, kind of like that Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone kind of vibe to it. But then when you play the spell, the card doesn't just sit on a flat table in a row. You actually have a hex map where you can move your summoned creatures around the hex map each turn and attack and use special abilities. And your object is to kill the opponent's hero, but the hero is actually also like a miniature on this board game map. So there is the card game strategy part of it, and also the tactical map game. I don't know if you've ever played a game called Faria, but that game works similarly. So it's like cards and a board. And the thing that stood out to me, not only was it really polished for still being in like an alpha phase, it's got that like every creature you summon, kind of like Hearthstone, they have a unique sound effects, a unique character model, and unique like spell effects and stuff like that. But this game is being designed to interact directly on Twitch, so that if you're a broadcaster, you can spawn a shard. Like I could spawn like Bog Otter shard, and it's like a floating island. And there's a bunch of different quests that will populate around the island. And it could be like win certain amount of matches or do certain amount of things. And people who are watching my stream who also have the game can actually jump in and help me complete the quests on my shard. And if they do that, if we complete all of the quests on the shard, then everybody who contributed gets bonus loot and experience and all kinds of goodies, because we work together as a community to do that. And they also mentioned things that there's going to be ways for the people that are playing with you. They can actually earn reputation for your shard. So like they're actually earning Bog Otter shard reputation while playing with me or doing things. So they can do it offline too. When I'm not streaming the shard, you can still work on the shard when you're not streaming too. So there's and they offered like one thing that they can unlock like with their reputation, like as the leader of the shard, I might be able to set custom colors for all of the character models. So if I go with my logo like purple and green, right? Like my logo, like I can have purple and green units, and people can earn those by helping me with my shard. So I was really excited about this game. I love turn-based strategy kind of card game type stuff, but I also love the streamer interactive stuff as well. So Shardbound, go look for it. It's awesome. I think you can sign up now for like the alpha or something like that. Yeah.
And it is a CCG, so when you play, you don't get every card. You're gonna have to like get packs and stuff, right?
I would assume so. Yeah. Okay. They didn't show any of that off. We got to play one little demo match, which I won, by the way. So
if you stop now,
I could retire undefeated. Yeah, I could. Right. But I want to play it too much, so I'll have to accept a losing record.
A losing record, as if it's a foregone conclusion that you're going to lose. Yeah. What were some of the panels that you got to go to, and was there anything that you took away from those panels that you thought, all right, this is something that I need to learn from, or whatever?
All right, so let's see. I went to a bunch of different panels, and I went with my manager widget. We saw a bunch of panels. There's also a bunch of them that you can watch on VOD on Twitch that we have as our homework assignments to kind of catch up on. But I went to one on like 101 Twitch streams, learning about 101 stream teams on Twitch. That was done by the Chillest stream. Snowlet's the leader of that, and that was interesting to see what goes into like managing a stream team. There was one that I saw on Code Carnage's moderation team on how to like moderate and how they organize their community to deal with the fact that he's got such a large stream. That was cool to see the behind the scenes, behind the curtain of their whole operation over there. There was ones that like building your brand on social media, protecting yourself online. There was one that kind of gave advice to broadcasters who want to reach out and partner up with game devs, and also the opposite, game devs that want to try to partner up with streamers and such like that. So yeah, I saw a variety of different stuff and learned a lot, and some of it was just affirmation that I was doing things correctly, stuff that I already knew, but there were a couple of things that really that I was able to take away and put into kind of like a plan for things that I want to do. I definitely want to organize my mod team a little bit better and kind of manage that a little bit and really treat it more, professionally, because it kind of is a job. I mean, it is a business that I'm running. And even though A lot of the work gets done on a volunteer basis. Treating it more like a business will hopefully elicit more of a I don't know, it would come off as more like the stream is actually run more professionally. And another one was just when you're reaching out to publishers and I sent out a lot of emails to publishers and to game dev studios, just like saying, hey, I'm interested in streaming your game, blah, 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 blah. And I just kind of introduce myself, and most of them go unanswered. But one of the big things that they kind of gave us feedback, which I'm going to try to listen to from now on, is just like be direct with like exactly what you're looking for when you reach out to one of these game companies. Don't make it a long-winded, make it easy for them to say yes to an email. Like, be specific what you're looking for. The worst they could say is no. And you don't have to spill this long diatribe of, just kind of beating around the bush. Just go for what you're looking for and see if it happens, So I don't know if that answers your question enough, but I saw a lot of cool things and learned a lot, but those are a couple nuggets I took away.
Very cool. And like you said, those VODs are available not just to people who went to the con. They're available for everybody. Like, I watched a couple of them.
That's right. Yeah.
So Amazon bought Twitch a couple years ago, and they've been very hands off with it, which I think is the right move for them. But this year they announced, hey, we're gonna start leveraging our Twitch integration into our Amazon Game Studios. Yeah. What's your reaction to that?
I love it. There's a couple things that like just came out this past week at the convention. Like, so first of all, they've announced the series of games that they've been working on, right? We know that the Amazon Game Studios has been around working on something, but they announced 3 games. Breakaway, which was playable, and I got to play and stream it live from the convention. And there's 2 other games, New World and Crucible, which they're working on behind the scenes, and they give a little teaser snippets about what these games are about. But all 3 of those games are built with Twitch in mind, right? They have ways for the people that are watching to interact with those games. There's going to be like a betting mechanic where you could say, hey, I think Bog Otter is going to win this match in Breakaway. And there's like currency that they, kind of like Monopoly money that they can play around with and bet, and kind of leaderboards to kind of compare them on. So that's one thing. Number 2 is there's ways for these games to, like, if me as a broadcaster, I could say, I want to play Breakaway with just my followers or just my subscribers. And I could do that within the game, and it hooks into Twitch, and it kind of knows who's viewing and who's a subscriber right from within the game. So that's really great as a broadcaster to kind of have like sub day or, play with my viewer day. And then thirdly, they and I was able to actually test this. They have APIs that integrate with OBS, which is the streaming software I use, so that there are custom overlays that detail information coming right from the game that can show on the screen in real time while I'm playing it. So when I was streaming Breakaway from the actual show floor, I was able to, without actually coming up with any kind of graphics or custom overlays of myself, I was just able to plug it into OBS, and it would show like a mini map of the game on the bottom, and a score and some of the stats that were going on live as I was playing the game. So all those things are going to be available in all the games that they introduced. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then on top of all that, they announced Twitch Prime, which is a premium service that hooks into folks that already have Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime already, you get Twitch Prime, and there's a whole bunch of different benefits that you get for it. You get discount on games on Amazon.com, and then you get in-game items. You're even giving you a free game called Streamline if you sign up for it, or if you already have it. And then you also get 1 free Twitch sub, which allows you to subscribe to a partnered broadcaster of your choice for free without paying the $5 per month, and the broadcaster still gets their normal share. So it's basically, from their perspective, a regular sub. So they announced a lot, and it was really cool. I think overall, like you said, it's good that for the first couple of years when they bought that, they didn't try to impose and change a whole bunch of things. But now we're really getting to see what what Amazon buying Twitch is doing for Twitch, and I think it's brilliant. I think they're trying to really enter this marketplace and take advantage of the fact that they've got this gigantic gaming platform, and you know what? We can make really cool games that are designed with Twitch broadcasters interacting with their communities in mind. So I'm super excited as a Twitch broadcaster. I think this is going to be great.
What did you think of them using their own Twitch launcher instead of using this? Everybody else wants Steam, but they said we're gonna have our own Twitch launcher. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, they really didn't talk about that. That was more of a something that you learned when you got home and said, all right, let me download the free game they're giving me, Streamline. And then you click on the link and it's like, oh, it's in its own Twitch launcher. I can't like Streamline, you can get it on Steam. It costs you $20. But if you want the free copy, you have to get it through the Twitch launcher. And of course, my first reaction was like, ooh, like I don't want another launcher. I've got all my stuff in Steam. But I think it's yet to be seen whether they're going to really focus on this launcher or not. But I do think that their idea is we're going to make games with Amazon Game Studios. We're going to sell games on Amazon.com. People who have Amazon/Twitch Prime are going to get 20% off games that they buy through Amazon with same-day release day shipping. And they want people to kind of, use Amazon to get their games and stuff. And they're even incentivizing broadcasters to stream these games because, and Streamline is live with this feature right now. Streamline's the first game on Twitch that has this, is if you are a partnered broadcaster streaming Streamline, underneath where it says like Bog Otter is playing Streamline, there's a link that says get this game. If you click it, you're going to be getting the game through Amazon with the discount, but a portion of the profits actually go to the streamer directly,
kind of like a partnership,
that you don't really need to because you're already with Twitch. You don't have to kind of have this deal outside of if there's partnership programs like this out there for other video games, but you need to have a relationship directly with that game designer or game development studio or the publisher, and you got to kind of work behind the scenes and get that partnership approved. This was, I came home from TwitchCon, I downloaded Streamline. Since I was a partner streamer, it automatically showed up with that link, and that link supports my channel. So if they go that direction, and that direction means that, if we want to get the 20% off on the games, if we want to get games that you could support broadcasters directly by buying, and that means using the Twitch launcher, then you know what? Maybe that's the kind of thing that can incentivize people to actually use another launcher, because we've seen a lot of other launcher type services not really pick up any traction because it's hard to compete with Steam. So I totally don't love, wanting two different launchers, but I think there's potential in this because of the deep discounts and because there's ways to support the broadcasters directly. For example, when I was streaming Streamline the other day, I had one of my regular community members actually say that. They said, oh, I want to support you, Bog, so I'm going to buy the game with the Twitch launcher, even though I'd rather have this on Steam. So it will work for some people, and some people it won't work for. So
I think one of the real big things that's going to determine whether or not it works is, are they going to put other games that are not from Amazon Game Studios on that launcher? If they don't, then I think it's going to have a hard time getting any traction. But if they do, then I think that Twitch is a big deal, and a lot of people don't realize that. But it might actually incentivize people to use that other launcher. That's very interesting.
Well, maybe eventually, maybe the whole Twitch website, runs in the launcher, or the launcher runs on the Twitch website. So you're watching and it shows all the channels that you're following, but here's your games over here on the right. And you just click on the game you want to play, and if it gets integrated instead of being a separate thing, then I think there's a lot of potential, because people love their Twitch. They love, all right, I've subscribed to all these different channels. I got all these custom emotes I can throw all over the place. Now I've got my Twitch Prime badge. I'm getting free goodies every month, and getting the discounts on Amazon. And then I've got my library all here in one place. I think it has potential. Not saying it could beat the giant Steam, but there's potential.
Not only that, but one thing that just occurred to me, you said that there's a link to buy this game underneath when you're playing Streamlined.
Yeah.
After I click that button should change into join streamer in game. So I just so I buy Streamlined, and then the next thing is I click on the same spot and it launches the game and puts me in your game. That would be really cool. And that's not something that you can currently do in Steam.
No, but it's funny you mentioned that. One of the things, like we were talking about at the convention, there were a lot of games that were built or on, integrating with Twitch more. There's going to be more and more games that we see where you can tell while you're playing these multiplayer games who is streaming, and there's going to be ways for you to, like, if they have like the purple little Twitch symbol on their head, you can be able to click on that and actually follow right from the game, so that you can find other communities that are playing your game. So that was really cool.
So I'm playing a game, I see Bog Otter on the other side. I don't know that Bog Otter is a streamer, but he's got a little link. I can click that and watch his stream while we're fighting.
Yeah, so like just pick, like, and of course, this is just an example, but let's say you're playing Overwatch and you just hold down tab to see who's on the other team. You just see, oh, this guy's got a purple little Twitch symbol above his head. He's a Twitch streamer. He's live right now. I can click on that and follow right from there. So you can find communities that are playing similar games with you within that. Now, Overwatch, just an example, but that just give you an idea how it works.
Clearly Amazon and Blizzard have some kind of connection, because you get free Tyrande card with your Amazon Prime account. So
yeah, you got Hearthstone goodies if you sign up for Twitch Prime. Yep.
All right. So the last question that I have for you is that Amazon Game Studios talked about 3 games that that they're coming out with this. The New World, which is an MMO that takes place in colonial America with some supernatural stuff. Crucible, which is a 12-man, last man standing, free-for-all, where the streamer gets to do some crazy stuff to the people who are fighting each other. And then Breakaway, which I guess I'd describe as sports ball meets building. I don't even know how to describe that game's so weird, but that's the one we know the most about. So of those 3 games, which game does Bog Otter take to the desert island with him? Which one is he most excited about?
I got to play Breakaway there, and I think it's a lot of fun, but I think overall that's not where I don't have the best manual dexterity. I'm of advancing years. I think I'm going to get creamed in the game. I'm looking forward to actually playing that with my stream. But that I don't think that's my game. And the New World game, I love MMOs, and I love the idea of like a colonial America with supernatural elements type MMO. But it's a sandboxy experience. They even said something like likened more to like an almost like an EVE Online-esque type infrastructure where the players kind of create the content. And I've never been drawn to that kind of game. I love MMOs, but I unfortunately like to have a little bit more direction. I don't know how to make my own fun, is basically what I'm saying there. So I would pick Crucible. Crucible, as I love the interesting Hunger Games kind of vibe to the game, where you're going out for survival. You're trying to be the last man standing on this island or whatnot, and or this alien world. I think you get beamed onto a planet, and you can make alliances with other players or break them and backstab them. And then there's an extra player who gets, sometimes could be the streamer, who gets to call in different weather effects or different encounters to kind of mess with everything. I think that's really cool. And a lot of the ArenaNet, I play a lot of Guild Wars too, so I love ArenaNet. And a lot of the employees that have moved on from ArenaNet have actually started working for Amazon Game Studios. This is their game. This is the game that a lot of those folks are working on. So I can't wait to see. I love their team. So Crucible all the way for me.
All right, and I'm definitely gonna get all 3 of them, but Crucible for me also sounds like the most interesting one. Although I think New World has the most interesting setting for sure.
Yeah,
there's not enough games that deal with that setting.
Yes.
I know that you have some stuff that you have to do, so thank you so much. Why don't you tell the people listening, watching, or whatever, where it is that they can find Bog Otter?
You can follow me on Twitter at Richie Procopio. You can also go over to twitch.tv/Bog Otter. I am streaming full-time, 5 to 6 days a week. We have a PG-13 environment. We are very welcoming. Oop, I just hit my mic. We are very welcoming of new players, and we just are a great gaming community full of friends that just want to play games together. So if you're looking for a home, go over to twitch.tv/Bog Otter. Do it.
All right. Yes, do that right now, people. All right. Thank you so much for coming by, man. And I will, hopefully I'll see you again.
All right. Thanks you. And thanks for having me and have a great weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
Take care.